Hello rum fans, welcome back to the channel. Today we're looking at the Mount Gay Black Barrel. This is about the 8th or 9th rum we've looked at in this Barbados deep dive in November 2023. And I would say we're slightly going up a class now in rums. Now remember, the whole point of these deep dives, we're basically taking one country in turn now. That's how this channel works. This is Barbados, and I'm trying to educate myself about Barbados rums and hopefully educate you guys as well. But I'm trying to essentially find my favorite Barbados rum, if we can narrow it down to one. So far, you'll see these guys here, and how I've kind of narrowed it down so far out of the 8 or 9 that I've already tried. I've kind of got my favorite sipping rum and then my favorite kind of cocktail rum. The cocktail that I'm choosing this month is a very simple, very plain rum punch. So I kind of do that at the end of the video. I've actually gone back and done a few sort of rum fashions and see how they work, but I haven't changed my mind. These are still the two rums that I'm carrying forward. Now, as Mount Gay don't really do age statements, I don't kind of know where to position this, how old the rums are actually compared to the 5-year-old rums that we looked at before. I've kind of put it after the 5-year-olds that we've looked at, sort of the Real McCoys, the Dawleys and the Plantation there. But, you know, perhaps it has got younger rums. We just don't know. I mean, it kind of did sort of film this pretty early doors as well, the Cockspur Old Gold. And on price, you would perhaps say that these two are more kind of close in comparison for the styles of rum and the quality of rum we should be looking at. But I kind of put this before the 5-year-olds for no unknown, you know, no reason that I know of, just because I thought that's probably where it'd sit. And in evidence, you know, the 5-year-old rums I did think was better than this. And just so you know why I've positioned it here, let's talk about the price of that. In the UK, we pay roughly about £41, which is Master of Malt price in the UK. Master of Malt are the guys that I always shout out as where I buy all my rums and ingredients from. Yes, they do gift me some stuff from time to time. This is a bottle I've owned for a long, long time. So the question is, after this video, do I replace this rum or not? But just so you've got a rough idea of how much we pay, I'll translate for that in various different currencies for you. So £41 in the UK translates roughly $50 US, 48 euros, 78 Australian dollars, and then 68 Canadian dollars. So that's what we would pay translating into the UK. But as always, that is an open invitation for you guys to drop your prices in. How much do you pay wherever you are? Let us know in the comments below. So to compare that to previous rums, especially the sort of 5-year-olds and the Cockspurs, we're looking at roughly sort of £8, a bit more expensive, give or take £8 more expensive than any of the sort of 5-year-olds, the core 5-year-olds that we looked at. So, you know, we are jumping up a little bit there. And again, to translate that, I'll just do the US dollars here, but you know, we're talking sort of 12, 13 US dollars, 11, 12-ish euros. So it's a little bit of a jump there. But to compare that to the Cockspur Old Gold, we're only talking roughly £5 more. So perhaps doing the Old Gold a bit earlier, perhaps it should compete in this category, the next category up against the 5-year-olds. But you can quite clearly see that actually I did prefer these over that. So where this exactly fits, I'm not sure. I'm just going on purely on price. So I would put it is a category above the 5-year-olds, but let's find out. Now, there's not much else I can really tell you about this rum. We don't know, as I said, Mount Gay don't really do age statements or anything like that, so we don't know how old it is. Also, I can tell you is Mount Gay, I think, is the world's, I think I'm right in saying that. I've learned so much and my little brain is sort of crammed with so much information, I just forget half of it. But 1703, obviously that's branded all over every single bottle. I think they're the oldest running distillery in the world, continuous distillery. I think that's how it's worded, something like that. Very, very old. Anyway, I'll read you the back of the bottle because this does really sum this rum up. Mount Gay Black Barrel is a crafted rum of blends of, it's molasses based, so we know that. Blend of rums distilled in traditional copper pot and column stills, matured in American whiskey casks and then finished in charred bourbon barrels. It does say on the front, casks are American whiskey and deeply charred bourbon barrels. Style is robust and bold, notes gingerbread, lychee and toffee. So yeah, it can be enjoyed neat or on ice or on cocktails, but let's dive in. Let's have a little smell. And one thing that's always got me with this, it's like, even, so this bottle's old, it's had plenty of sort of, well, when I say old, about a year old, it's had plenty of air get into it. I've never once got the lychee that they say on the front of the bottle. The lychee just doesn't come out. I do get that gingerbread though. That gingerbread is definitely there. And toffee, I probably wouldn't go toffee. I'd probably go more sort of caramel. I do get a lovely fruity vibe to this as well. I would go orange. Sort of like actually a zesty orange. That's you know, that really does come through to me. I wouldn't say tropical fruits or anything like that. It is more that sort of orange, zesty orange that comes through on there. And how I like to describe things for you guys, long-term viewers will know that I don't like heavily aged rums in this. This one smells very inviting to me. Yes, I get a little bit of aging on the nose, but not too much, not enough to put me off. I'm really looking forward. There's something about this. Maybe there is a little bit of tropical fruit in there, but there's something about this that I really want to dive into. The aroma makes me really want to dive in and drink this. And just to give you, I'm going to start doing this. I should really have done this before, but just to give you other people's sort of aroma notes, if you like. We've got woody, vanilla, orange peel. Yeah, I agree with that. Alcoholic, fruity, caramel, smoky. I don't really get smoky, don't really get spicy. Raisin, molasses, cognac, floral. Again, I don't really get any of those. It is a little bit of vanilla. Yes, that's there. Caramel, a little bit of barrel, but it's more sort of zesty orange. That's kind of where I am. Now on the taste, this is quite interesting. It doesn't taste how it smells for me. I have got definitely a peppery bite going over the tongue now. I wouldn't say cinnamon or anything like that, or spice. It is definitely a dry pepper that sort of coats your tongue. Not much fruit coming out. I actually get, possibly for me, a bit too much wood. And that's that peppery vibe. I get a bit too much wood. Dare I say, alcohol? You know, in that sort of sense. I don't think, bearing in mind I've had a little play with this, I don't think this is a pleasurable experience for me drinking neat. Not as much as that plantation, the 5-year-old Barbados there. I would still much rather drink that neat than what I would do this. I've just been sitting there with for a couple of minutes, well, 30 seconds or so, just running that sort of over my tongue, let it go around my palate. Is there fruit there? There's a tiny bit of fruit there, more raisiny, sultana kind of fruit, dried fruit sort of vibe there, but nothing distinguishable, if you like. It's a generic kind of profile. But for me, I can't get past that peppery wood aging on that. That for me would hint that there's quite, not, you know, massively aged rums in there, but a lot heavier aged rums than what there are in these sort of 5-year-olds, because that wood, that pepper, is what puts me off longer aged rums. I just don't enjoy that. But again, just to run you through other people's tasting notes, interesting is that there's a bit of fruit that comes out in this, but again, as I've said, I don't really agree with that. We've got up top, we've got alcohol, we've got woody, vanilla, caramel, dry. Yeah, I'd agree with that. Vanilla's there in the background. It's not a lovely vanilla. It's just subtly there in the background. Peppery, spicy, sweet. No, I don't agree with that. Toasted, yes, because of the wood. I would kind of agree with that. That would be someone else's sort of terminology here. Smoky, I don't really get smoky from it. No, definitely no smoky. I'm going to try this with a tiny bit of sugar. It's just like a simple rum fashioned. That's still, actually, that's quite nice. It doesn't really. It's still got that sort of peppery bite. It sort of tames, how can I put this? It kind of tames that sort of wood burn down a little bit, that peppery bite, but it's still everything. I would still much rather have that plantation 5-year-old, and then cocktail wise, because that has got a little bit of grunt to it, but not that sort of peppery bite to it. It's a different sort of spice to it. If I was going for rum fashioned or something like that, I would definitely still go that Dawley's 5-year-old over this. Now, interestingly, when we come to the rum punch, that's actually quite a nice rum punch. Because that's what I say, when you're doing cocktails, you do want a bit of, I just used the word grunt, I like that word. A bit of grunt, a bit of oomph, a bit of body in your rum, so it shines through the cocktail. And that is actually quite nice for a cocktail rum. However, is it £8, you know, better spent than say something like the Dawley's 5-year-old for a cocktail? I don't think it is. I don't think it's that much better, or $10 or $11 better than the Dawley's 5-year-old in a cocktail. It will give you more oomph to a cocktail than the Plantation Barbados. As I say, we know that's sweetened. Mount Gay won't be. But that is quite delicious. I would generally, to sum this video, I would put this down to how much you pay for it. If you can get that Dawley's Black Barrel anywhere close to the Dawley, if you could get the Mount Gay Black Barrel any close to price-wise to the Dawley's 5-year-old, then that might be something. Look, because it is a different style of rum to Foursquare. Mount Gay is a slightly different rum to a Foursquare rum. I'm just going purely on the prices here in the UK, and I don't think I would replace that now. I think at the moment, where I still am for cocktails, I'm sticking to that the Dawley's 5-year-old for cocktails, and definitely the Plantation 5-year-old for sipping neat at the moment.